What's going on, champs and chambits? It's FireMonkey here, and do you guys remember the Find the Force event from a while ago where you were actually able to earn tons of cosmetics? You know, you had the free tier being the blue tier in the image you're seeing on screen right now, and the paid tier being the tier you'd be able to unlock for 1,000 V-Bucks, and you know, to be able to progress through to get a lot of free cosmetics, you know, a lot of skins and stuff here and there. Well, what if I told you that there was an issue with this actual event in some languages, you know, some regions, that caused Epic Games to actually give players a 1,000 V-Buck refund? And this isn't clickbait or anything, it's an actual refund. You're seeing an image up on screen right now, and I know when you clicked on this video, you know, you might have noticed that it's like, oh hey, well I get this refund as well. You probably want to hear all the information about it, and I'm going to start off this video by saying if you didn't know about this refund happening, you most likely aren't going to receive these free V-Bucks added to your account. So let's go ahead and dive in detail on what happened here, you know, what is going on in regards to these V-Bucks people are getting, and everything else. So it all relates to actually a poor translation error. When the event actually came out, you know, if you're someone who, like me, you know, plays the game mainly with your language set to English, you wouldn't have noticed it. However, if you're playing in different languages, so, you know, for example, if you go over here in my settings, you know, we all go all the way over to the menu and everything else, and we change our language to something else, you know, well, let's just do Japanese, because why not? You know, it will make the game look completely different. Of course it would, you know, as everything else is, but if you're playing in different languages, you know, you get a localized newsfeed. So as they kind of, you know, keep evolving the newsfeed over time, occasionally there'd be a unique newsfeed that would show up. Sometimes it'd be for specific regions, such as, you know, if Japan has like a Japan only event or whatever, like the Switch Cups from before, it would show up in the Japan only newsfeed and it wouldn't show up in the other newsfeeds around the world, right? And it was all related to the actual language you had selected in your game. Well, because of this, some people are actually getting a newsfeed pop-up during the actual event going down, you know, talking about the free reward, you know, the Coruscant Guard you'd be able to get by spending 1,000 V-Bucks. However, instead of saying paying, you know, 1,000 V-Bucks or whatever else, they mentioned you could win 1,000 V-Bucks. And of course, that is something that isn't even possible. You know, that event didn't give any V-Bucks out as a free reward or anything like that. So, you know, it was something where they had accidentally translated paid to win incorrectly in some languages. And because of that, it caused this whole entire issue and debacle where some people contacted support from the affected regions and everything, being like, hey, you know, it mentioned in my newsfeed that I could win this amount of V-Bucks or whatever, but I never received that. So I expected, you know, to get those V-Bucks when I bought this thing, and that was never actually advertised in the event or whatever. Can I, you know, get a refund or something along those lines? And because of that, Epic Games actually went through and did an investigation behind the scenes. They never made like a public tweet or anything talking about the issue, and they decided that, hey, we're just going to silently give the people who had those languages selected and who had, you know, actually bought the event pass or whatever else. So if you didn't buy the event pass, you're not just going to get a random 1,000 V-Bucks in your account, and we're just going to silently grant the 1,000 V-Bucks to them, you know, with a little bit of an explanation being like, hey, we made an oopsie, we had a translation error. So instead, you know, if you spent the 1,000 V-Bucks, you got yourself basically a free event pass. And this is all related to the specifically affected languages. Now, I don't know if I said it in this recording or a previous recording that, you know, I scrapped or whatever, what the languages were, but according to reports I've heard, you know, it seems to be related to like Brazilian or Portuguese players and people who played in actual like German languages or whatnot. Now, I can't confirm nor deny if that is actually the case or whatever, but that is just kind of the rumors and reports I've heard on Twitter. So if you're someone who out there who actually plays in those languages and you actually paid the 1,000 V-Bucks for the event pass and, you know, completed it or whatever else, even if you didn't complete it, there's a chance that you may have been granted 1,000 V-Bucks entirely for free. Now, I know there's going to be some content creators, of course, and people out there who are like, guys, here's how to get 1,000 V-Bucks free right now. And I just want to, you know, make it clear that, hey, this is only for a very small portion of players, and not everyone out there is going to be getting this whole entire grant to their account. Like, for example, me, even if I switch my language right now, knowing about the whole entire issue or whatever that happened before, I'm not going to get the V-Bucks, right? I can't switch a language to actually try, you know, getting into that grant program or whatever, because this is using data based on back when the event was going on. So if you're someone who even would use that language or whatever as your main language back then, and then later on you had actually changed it to English or whatever else, and it might actually be related to your account region as well, then you should still actually obtain all this stuff, right? You should still obtain the rewards and everything, because it's not using the current data, it's using the data from back then, at least as far as I'm aware. But of course, I'd love to hear in the comments down below, what do you think about this whole entire issue, the whole entire, you know, like false advertising of event rewards and everything? Do you think this is good on Epic Games for actually granting the players who may have seen that newsfeed or whatever 1,000 V-Bucks? Or do you think it's not really that big of an issue because, you know, technically it was only advertised in the in-game newsfeed, and as far as I'm aware, it it wasn't advertised in the actual blog post or anything else as well. At the end of the day, I mean, hey, these people, there's definitely some people out there are getting some free V-Bucks added to their account. They basically got themselves a free Star Wars event pass and tons of cosmetics, and that's always a nice thing to see, but I always thought that, it was a little bit of an interesting issue to see how this whole entire situation went down, all related to the in-game newsfeed, because there's been times before, right, where Epic Games will say stuff, and then they just don't go and interact on that, right? Because if we even go in-game right now and go to our augment menu, I don't even know how I found the menu, the jump balloon augment right here was actually supposed to be removed this update, however, it's still here, right? Despite them saying it was for the birthday event only, it's still in the game, you can still use it right now, and it's super odd to see how, weird Epic's been recently. In terms of actually, like, advertising certain things and then, not doing the thing they mention, or, not doing the thing they advertise until a week or two later, and just kind of seems like there's a disconnect between Epic Games themselves and, the people actually pushing out the changes, to where they don't actually know if what is being said in a blog post is going to be what is happening in game or whatnot. It's just this weird disconnect happening. So, during a time when there's definitely this weird little vibe of a disconnect happening in between Epic Games internally, it is still nice to see that they're going about, still granting make good rewards such as, the V-Bucks for those who have been affected. But with that said, hope you champs and champions enjoyed today's little video. That's right, some people may have gotten some V-Bucks for free, but most likely if you haven't already received that grant in your account, you're not going to be one of the people who got the V-Bucks. Maybe you could try contacting support or something to actually try getting it, but at the same time, I would not recommend going about doing that, right? That just is going to annoy support, and you don't want to risk your account getting banned or anything along those lines. So until next time, hope you champs and champions enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys later with another upload. Peace out.